What's up, guys? Welcome to Reaching for the Bars podcast. This episode is brought to you by Edge Fitness Performance. Go on to edgefitnessperformance.com. Check out their supplements, the best supplements in the game. Use code RFTB at checkout and earn 10% off on your purchase.
Also, another way to support the podcast is by another sponsor, Charlie Mike Never Weaken. Go to charliemikeneverweaken.com. Check out some of the best apparel in the game.
And now, for your listening pleasure, Reaching for the Bars.
Huzzah. That was a good one.
Man, we got the timing on that. Just damn.
Welcome, everybody,
Thank you.
to Reaching for the Bars podcast. Today, we have everybody in studio. To my far right is our executive producer, Andrew Weis.
Hello.
To his left is Mr. Mabry Cook.
Hello.
And then to my left, Mr. Caleb Mustache Whitney.
Howdy.
And I'm
howdy in there. Ooh.
And howdy, y'all. And I'm Dusty Labar. Today we're going to talk about a couple of fun things. Today we're going to talk about a couple fun things. We got a lot of response about your major mishap with the patty last week, so
I'd like to apologize for everybody.
Yeah.
I really got the patties and the bun.
And
It's the best.
intern Abby did a really good job of showing my face when you were talking, and then I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, man.
I mean, even Gabby told me, she was like, I think he's talking about buns. I was like, yeah.
But
She
you
was like,
you
he's
kept
talking-
saying patties.
She's like, he's thinking of a Big Mac. She's like, I was like, that's exactly right.
Patty.
And in the moment, I was sitting there like, God, I really want to know what he's talking about. Because you're so passionate about the way
I
you're
also was
explaining.
thinking, like, is he cutting burger patties in half? Like, I don't understand what he's doing.
It's still a patty. You can't cut it in
Maybe
half.
it's like you go patty, half patty,
Half patty.
bun, half patty. It's like, why don't we just keep the patty together
Why
or
are
make
you-
thinner
it's like,
patties, man?
Why are you cutting your patties?
It's like, maybe a smash burger isn't cutting the actual patty in half, right?
Do you guys want to listen to it?
No.
No, we don't.
We'll
Whole
just-
thing?
yeah,
Listen
no.
to our own thing.
You guys, if you don't know what we're talking about, you should go back and listen to that
check it out.
on our. Actually, the thumbnail is you laughing, which is perfect.
It's pretty funny. The funniest part about it, I thought, was that you were like so authoritative.
Well, I was confused.
You're like, Andrew, you know what they're
I
talking
was like,
about.
what are you? I was like, why are you not understanding me? Because I was confused. Y'all were confused. I was like, why is this not lining up?
You let
And
it
you're
off.
like,
You let it off with, you know why it's a half, right? And we were like,
Oh,
no,
I know. I was like, why are they not?
patty.
I mean, I was about to school y'all.
And then when you said, you looked at me and you were like, what do you call a burger that has two patties? You call like what, the top and the bottom? I was like, no, it's one patty. You're like, exactly.
Yeah. We're like,
Oh my
boy.
God. All right. So today we're going to talk about my experience with getting my tattoo because I think it's funny and we should talk about it. We're going to talk about stopping these CrossFit athletes.
Yeah,
And
CrossFit
then-
Open is underway.
And then we're going to rank, ESPN came out with a ranking of the most difficult sports by degree of difficulty, or hardest sports by degree of difficulty. So we're probably going to look through it and then come up with our own 5 or 10, depending on how much time we have. So let me start with, can you pull up his Instagram just so everybody can see? Evan Q on Instagram. I went to Nashville to get my tattoo. I think I talked about it before when I had just the first part, and I have one more session left with him.
Oh, you do?
I have to get the top of my arm.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It looks good.
It looks good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It came
It's
out
really good.
Very skilled. Very skilled.
Yeah, so he's got some crazy stuff, but let me tell you, everybody wants to think they're the tough guy. It was one of the worst things I've ever sat through. He tattooed me from 10 a.m. to like almost 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And he took 2 10-minute breaks.
Yikes.
And like every minute of it was agony. And like, he was like, you're like, I'm sure it's like, you say that to all the girls. He was like, you're sitting really well. And I'm over here with like tears in my eyes. I was like, thanks, man. It's pretty good. It's not bad at all. It felt like he spent, I mean,
no
less than 3 hours on my elbow. Like it was the worst pain. And I'm sitting there being like, how?
They have that cream now.
So
Did
he
you
said
not use the cream?
he said he doesn't do the cream because it hardens the skin and you have to tattoo harder to get the ink in. So it firms up the skin.
That sounds terrible.
So
Well, they were because when I was getting my shoulder piece, I'm like almost done.
Yeah.
And he's with the first part, and he's like, "Hey, we got this cream that is really great, like no pain." And I'm like, "Brother, we are almost done with the first session, and you're just now thinking to tell me this?"
He's like, about 3 minutes left. We should have used this, huh?
He's like, "Look, check this out."
So he has a way that he likes to do it. So about 6 hours in, he uses a foaming lidocaine that basically it like barely takes the edge off.
Yeah.
And it just feels like he's working raw skin for hours.
So the key to that is you really don't want them to take a lot of breaks. But I mean, if they're going that long, you want more than 2.
Dude, I could almost, and I'm not tough. I sat through it. I'm not tough. I wanted to stop. I wanted to break it up into another session, but I didn't talk for almost 4 hours. Because it hurt so bad that I didn't want to talk.
Yeah.
Because he's super nice. He'll talk through it. I felt like the biggest weenie on earth. Like I was like, he's like, I tattooed a guy's head the other day, and I was like, oh my god, oh my god, how?
Right around his face.
Yeah. He told me, he was like, before he started, he was like, hey, the elbow is probably gonna stink. He's like, so I'm gonna start there first. And I was like, oh great. He's like, because you don't want to have 6 hours of pain, and then another 4 hours on your elbow. And I was like, that's 10 hours, dude. What are you talking about? He was like, you don't want to sit for 10 hours. And I was like, he put a thing on Instagram where he was like, I'll tattoo you until you quit. I'll never stop. And I was like, oh my God, why are you saying that?
He's like, you mind if I set up a video camera? You're like, why? He's like, I just like to show videos of when I break people. Like, oh God.
This is how bad it felt. And I should never equate this to this, but I was like, I understand what torture victims go through.
Well, I mean, a little bit.
Guantanamo Bay, get out of here, man. I was seriously like, I wonder how long I'd last in Guantanamo Bay, because this really hurts. And he said the underside of my arm, it doesn't get a lot of sun, so it's pretty fair skin. So he's like, it's gonna hurt. It's not gonna feel great. But that dude, my elbow, I mean, it was not good.
If you've never had a tattoo, it's like when you get a tattoo and then you see people with all these tattoos all over them, you're like, whoa. Yeah. You have a new appreciation. You're like, ouch.
I'd like to think I'm a tough guy for sitting through it, but I did not feel tough. Like I did not feel tough for 1 second. Like I had the whole outside of my arm done. I have multiple tattoos. Yeah. Nothing's ever hurt this bad.
Really?
I'm like, it's not gonna, and like, I mean, almost instantly when he started on my elbow, I was like, oh my God, I'm not gonna make it. This is terrible. This is the worst.
I mean, you get to the point where like that one on my shoulder, the long session was like 8 hours, and it was like you get to where you're like, all right, just make it through this 20-minute session, and then you're like breaking it into windows. You're like, oh boy.
And then at the end, he was like, all right. Like it's basically just like raw hamburger meat. And he's like, all right, I just got to get some white. We're going to do some white highlights. And I was like, okay, good. We're at the end. He's like, just another 90 minutes and I'll be done. I was like, okay. 90 minutes. What are you talking about, man?
Highlights.
What are you talking about, man?
So
he's like, I don't like the highlights. I like them.
He's taking 2 10-minute breaks in the whole entire session.
Yeah,
that's
like,
nuts,
dude. Like, is he like eating, using the bathroom? Like, what's going on? Like, how's he going?
I was gonna say, dude, I don't think I could sit there that long with the 2 breaks and not pee myself.
Is he sitting there with like food in his mouth while he's like,
did he bring the diaper?
He got up and ate one time, and he just wolfed a sandwich down. Like it wasn't 10 minutes. Like it was like maybe 10 minutes ish. And like I got up, I peed, and I drank my energy drink, and he's like, "You ready to go?" And I was like, yeah, sure. That's good. I'm not hurt at all. This is totally fine. Is it gonna be? So it was, I mean, it was.
Did you like, I always find this fun. It's like you're there for so long and now you're part of the tattoo parlor. Like people come and go. Like when you're there that long, people are coming and going. And so it's like you're part of the institute. I don't know how his setup
like a fly
is.
on the wall.
Like the one I did, and there's like 4 areas and we're all like right there. And so it's like people are coming in and out. And so it's just like, hey, and you're like, hey, welcome to it. You're like, you're part of the thing now.
It would have been super nice to have that break, but it's only him, and he locks the door so nobody can come in. So it's just me and him for 10 hours.
Oh my God.
You're like,
dude, this is terrible.
That's a tough day. I'm going to be honest with you.
He's like, I turned the lights off.
Nice guy.
You're like,
he's
He's a sadist.
Yeah.
I mean, he just likes to watch people hurt.
I was like, is that an erection? He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Dude, when he said, like, no, so you don't get a break from anything. It's just nobody's walking in. He's not talking to anybody. Like, it is. He's so talented. And obviously that's why I went to him. So I'm like, at least it's worth it. And then, because I was talking to Laura, I was like, I'm going to go get this done. After this, I'm going to get this done. I was like, I'm getting the top of my arm done.
I need a break.
I'm taking a break for a while.
Yeah.
For a while. But you should go to see this guy. He's really talented.
I'm sure he'd probably break it up if you wanted
Yeah,
to.
he absolutely will break it up for you. I was
Dude,
stupid.
like maybe it's too soon from after my shoulder piece, but small tattoos from now. I'm not sitting for 8 hours.
I literally
again.
told Laura the same thing. I was like, moving forward, I'm doing little stuff. Like little stuff over time will be big stuff.
That's right. Yeah.
But this
and it's expensive. People, man, dude, it's expensive.
Yeah,
Like
it's
a big
really
tattoo is
expensive.
expensive.
Like, forget that, man.
Also, it's the time of our lives where we have more money, so you want to go pay the guy that's the better.
Yeah,
so
that's
you
right.
you spend a little bit more money, but it's expensive. Like you don't want to, like when you're 18, you price shop tattoos. You're like, I don't care who the best is. Who's the cheapest? Who
This
is
is
the cheapest?
permanently going on your body.
Yeah, the first tattoo I ever got, the guy's name was Bones. That's his name. $75.
Nice.
It was a $75 tattoo. It's exactly what you think it was, and I won't get it covered up because it reminds me of how stupid I was.
That's smart.
Like it was like you flip through the thing and you're like, I'll take that.
Nice.
And he's like, okay, great, $75, and it's a nightmare.
I'm like, I forget. I genuinely forget about our spider tattoos, and then like the other day, I caught a glimpse of my butt in the mirror, and I was like, "That's where my spider tattoo is."
I was
Yeah.
masturbating.
I was doing my.
Why are you checking your butt out in the mirror?
I have a mirror on each side of a wall in my bedroom. Andrew's like, "That's a good idea."
Andrew, based on what I just told you, does it make you want to sit for your chest piece more or less or the same?
Same. It doesn't like discourage me, but I'm also like,
Here's the
I feel
scary
like
part.
A chest, what you got done is very bony and superficial.
Yeah.
There's
There's
gonna
a
be
lot of
parts of
nerves
that-
that run through the elbow. The
There's
chest,
gonna be parts of that chest though.
the chest.
Yeah, like right
if you
here.
get it on like sternum area, it's gonna be a problem. Up here, this is more muscular.
but this part I know.
Let me tell you
First
something.
tattoo I got was on my chest right here, and I fell asleep. It is.
I'm gonna tell you right
that
now.
is a good.
Here's the
if you wanna
scary
get a-
part.
If you want to
Get
get
a tattoo, get it right there.
You should go get a test tattoo somewhere else, like get something, because you don't want to get 1 hour into a full chest piece and be like, can't take this, can't take the pain.
Yeah.
And then you just have like a crappy outline. You're like, this means something to me, man. this unfinished,
Yeah,
like my life.
that's
I'll
all-
never stop.
Yeah, this is like that is a good point because I mean the pain is because I'm at the point
I
now
like
where
to
I don't
think-
care. Like I don't have to pretend to be tough.
Well,
I
I'd
mean,
like to think
When
that,
we got the spider,
yeah.
like it, I don't remember the pain from that at all. I mean, I know it's really small,
That's a good
and it was like,
area too, though.
but what I remember is being extremely uncomfortable in my seated arrangement.
Oh yeah, because you were like,
Like they brought out like a kid's chair, and I had to sit backwards on it and lean up against it. I was like, hot
she
and
was
sweaty.
like, I've never done this before, but don't move.
I mean, yeah, essentially.
I was gonna try to find the picture.
Oh my God, how long is that? I guess is it 2 years?
Oh yeah, almost.
I guess.
Oh
so.
my
wow.
goodness,
It's been a hot minute.
it's really not going to be that far.
Well, since
Oh,
Abby
there's
took
some
over.
funny stuff in here, guys.
Oh my god.
Yeah, remember when I went through all that process of doing all the reels and they were
Yeah,
funny?
They were funny.
They were funny,
They were funny.
and we went through them in a week.
Yeah, we had 10. I did them all back to back, 10 days in a row, and then we didn't have any.
I might have gone too far, but
It's not a big deal.
It's
But
okay.
yeah, that was
What episode are we at?
178.
I feel like
We're
it's
gonna
always,
get two. What are we gonna do for a big 2-0?
dude, we're gonna get
Oh.
wasted for sure.
Nice.
all right.
All right, let's get into the next thing.
Nice.
You look good.
What is that one?
I don't know. I don't even remember this.
We're gonna be late. I don't know. This is just one of your ideas, Dusty, I guess.
I don't know.
We're
This is
gonna-
probably something to do with the song.
Oh, this is. I remember with this. You were like, "Hey, everybody, send me a picture," and I was like, "A picture?"
Yeah.
No, that's
Look at
probably
the
why I
picture
said
of
that
me.
goofy picture.
Yeah, I'm doing all the work, and Andrew's like, I gotta send you a picture.
Dusty Tyson sent us a picture. Mabry sends that, and then Dusty goes, all right, I got Andrew and Caleb already. I was like, what picture do you have of me?
All right.
And then Andrew's like, I want to see the picture before you
Oh,
post
that's
it.
when we were gonna. Maybe was gonna slap you in the face, top left.
Oh, and we are another Andrew.
That's pretty funny.
All right.
We were in on it until you slapped my hand, and we both.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were like about to do it, and I was like, well,
both-
let me just slap your hand. And I was like,
We both make eye contact. We were like, we're not doing this.
No, that was a bad idea.
I was slapped his hand because I was like, I'm gonna hit it like 70%, get his hopes up. That way, when I slap him for real, he won't see it coming. I slapped his hand. I was like, oh, dude. I was like, this is not a good idea.
My hand hurt for like 3 days.
Dude, those people are crazy.
They're crazy.
They're
Your
crazy.
parents were really funny that morning because they walked up to me like I had something to do with it, and they're like, "Your dad's like he gets what he gets," you know what I'm saying? And
My
your
mom
mom
was
was
concerned.
Yeah, your mom was like,
She should
"You're
have
gonna
been.
you're gonna let this happen?"
I think when I slapped his hand, everyone in the gym was kind of like, let's all take a step back here.
we all dropped the bet talk. We're like, we should not do this.
Yeah, it was like there's never been more of a like coming back to consciousness. Everyone was like, "We're being silly.
Yeah.
There's no need to do this."
Yeah. Everybody saw you slap that. We're like, at first, like Todd was like, I got $100 right here. We're like, let's go.
Yeah,
I got up to like $500.
the money was on the table, and then I slapped your hand, and everyone's like, "Phew, no,
Yeah, Todd's like, nope.
I don't want to be liable for that."
Ooh, he might kill him.
So there could be some damage done. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, it was your
Like,
mom
in
came
your
up to
mind,
me.
though, you think like a slap is like, like, it's just a slap across the face.
It's just an open-handed punch.
I mean, but dude, there's a lot more. I mean, those guys that are getting slapped. I mean, whoa.
Oh man,
Hold on, go down real quick.
what are we looking at here?
That's what she said.
What shirt? Oh, never mind.
Nice.
What?
I was about to ask what shirt Mabry was wearing in that bottom right, but it's just a normal. I thought it was like a paisley
It
shirt.
does kind of look like that. Yeah,
A paisley?
like he
Or
was
what's
an
it-
80s paisley
what's the-
shirt or
is it
weird
paisley?
plaid or something?
I don't know.
What's that?
It is
What's
kind
that
of a
pattern?
blanket.
It's like two burger patties. It's like a top and a bottom.
That's right.
All right,
That's my thing.
let's talk
I'm doing the
about,
cool- I'm doing my cool guy thing.
I love when you do that. Let's talk about the thing that we wanted to talk about first, which was stopping these CrossFit athletes.
It is.
All right.
It's too much.
So let me lay the groundwork. So Haley Adams took a year off for mental health reasons.
Oh, we're talking about that.
We're talking about
Talking about all of it. We're
No,
getting
we're just
everything.
just getting ahead of it.
for everybody.
All right,
Haley Adams took a year off for
Let's-
mental health.
let's preface this real quick with the fact that we all go to a CrossFit gym. We enjoy the sport of CrossFit, or the working out style of CrossFit. So
And I would say, like,
But-
in addition to that, like, we all respect people making their own decisions. It's more so the aftermath and like what
Yeah,
they.
here's
expect
what
from
you
it.
do.
CrossFit has lost.
Yeah.
Haley Adams told us she was taking a year off for mental. She told us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Then Mallory O'Brien took a
Yeah.
year off, and all these people they feel like we want to know, and they're taking a year off for
Well,
mental
people
health.
probably are asking, to be fair.
But then let me say, let me also top it off with this. Most people, if you say, "Hey man, if you won $100 million in the lottery, what you do?" You're like, I don't know, probably work out twice a day and just live the easy life.
Yeah,
and
that's the absolute dream.
they're working out 2 or 3 times a day, and they're like, "My God, does life get any harder than this?"
Yeah, I mean-
I need to take a year off for my mental health.
Yeah, I mean,
you're
that's-
like, dude,
It's bananas.
what are you even doing?
My
Like,
thing, like, is it an ego thing? Is like, all right, if you need to take a year off for your mental health, then just do your normal thing and just don't worry about trying to win. Like,
Yeah.
just do. I mean, you'll
Just-
still be
there's
super
still-
fit, probably
I-
still make the games. Like, you'll be all right. Like, I mean, that's crazy talk. That'd be like me showing up to work and be like, hey, this project's getting pretty tough. I need to take a year off for my mental health.
This might be a difference of opinion, but I don't care that they're taking a year off. I don't care that they're doing these different things. It's the people that are having them on podcasts and the people that are like morning or make watch great not make what's the morning chalk up.
Yeah.
That
probably them
keep posting stories about like, oh my gosh, Mallory O'Brien's so strong because she's taking a year off from doing something that everybody in the world would like to do. She doesn't have a real job.
yes,
She's not going to a 9 to 5 every day. She's not has.
That's
She has no-
crazy.
She's
You don't
living
get
her
to take.
dream.
Yeah, you don't get to take a year off in a real job.
Like, you don't.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so
That's
fucking-
crazy.
She's currently living her dream life, working out twice a day in Hawaii, having fun, living off her second place winnings from 2 years ago. Like,
And she's like, I might not win this year. Like, I'm mentally not okay with that. Like, are you
And,
crazy?
like you're loaded rich.
And by the way, good for her. Good for her that she's like congratulations. Go do that. I don't care.
whatever,
But
if you wanna do it,
But
yeah.
it's these other organizations that are like they're like Mal O'Brien. We need you to come talk about you not. It's like leave her alone. Let her do her.
I just realized that it was like, and don't make it seem like it's that big a deal.
It's not a
because
big
it's not
deal.
a big deal. Like when she's sitting there like doing a video like and it's black and white or like whatever that like that
God.
dark scale where it's like someone died and she's like, it's just really tough. And I'm like, What is tough? I was
like
hey,
you just
not married. You don't have kids. You don't have a real job.
You just
Your life
graduated
is
high school.
easy.
Yeah, you just graduated high school.
There's that really interesting, Joe Rogan had this girl on recently. I know you like Joe Rogan. What's her name? Susie something. She wrote a book about like the transification, if you will, of like youth, and then she wrote another book about like bad therapy for kids, and she talks about how this whole new generation just like doesn't think they can do anything.
Yeah.
And it's like,
to be fair, the older generation's like, you guys suck. Yeah.
They do suck. I mean,
right?
dude,
Like,
could you
this
imagine?
idea that they're mentally ill is like they get it shoved down their throat since they were kids.
But like,
They
if you're
don't think
gonna,
they can do anything, but they think they deserve everything.
So
like, I respect guys
You know
that
what I
take,
mean?
I respect guys that take a year off and then you don't hear from them,
yeah,
right, working in the shadow.
and they don't say anything. They're just like, no.
But it's like you're not even really taking a year off. You're just not like you're
Just
just
not
not
competing.
Yeah,
You're still
you're
working
just
out.
Like, you're
Well, like,
still
think-
doing your thing.
I haven't
There's
heard of a
other
single.
examples of this, like Conor McGregor. Like he took off, and nobody.
I'll say-
he wasn't in a single interview talking about why he took off.
I'll say
He
what
broke
this
his shin.
What this compares to
Yeah,
me
but
is
like-
when Simone Biles dropped out of the Olympics and she was like, "Oh, I'm not." Like she got stomped out.
Yeah.
And then she was like, "Oh, I'm going to drop out." And we're like, "Hey, like in my opinion, they should have been like." No, you don't get to drop out. Like there were other people who competed to try to get here.
Yeah.
And just because now you lost your first event doesn't mean you get to back out.
Yeah.
There are other people that would have been
Yeah.
here if you hadn't have been here. You don't just get to back out, man.
I wonder how much of like these like backing out of the CrossFit Games stuff like that would happen if Tia Toomey wasn't in the CrossFit Games and Mal O'Brien was the fittest woman at that time, and Haley Adams would be more competitive because like. They're like, well, it's not fair because this girl keeps beating us every single year,
Yes.
so we're never gonna
Well,
win.
but
So we're
like-
just gonna take a break until she's done.
But
And it's like,
Tia hasn't competed in 2 years.
That's
I
true.
mean, Mal
And
could have
all-
won last year.
and they probably felt more pressure.
Yeah, because they're
Because
she's,
she's
not,
not there.
But my thing is like, okay, take a year off. That's great for you, but we're not going to celebrate it. You're a weenie.
Yeah, you're not meant.
You're a weenie. You're not mentally tough enough. Too bad. Like we
Don't-
all
I
have
will
to go
say-
do our jobs.
Calling
Like,
her tough-
No one else gets to take a year off in their job.
Wouldn't
Like, that's crazy.
wouldn't her being called tough would be if she stayed in it, even though she was having issues and like just
That's
power
right.
through
Yeah.
They're
it.
not.
I'll
and then
celebrate
they're
that.
I
not-
will say too, like I'm not convinced that they're just there. Like I need attention, even though I'm like I quit. Like these companies are reaching out to them and saying like we want to know, and then
Yeah, but
they
she can
feel
say
pressured.
no. They don't
Yeah,
have.
that's
Yeah,
right.
but that's hard. I mean,
But I mean,
especially
beach-
if you want to be in a space still.
you don't want to.
Do they pull back their sponsorships? Like, oh, if you're taking a
Yeah.
year off, we're going to take a year off.
Yeah,
from
that's it.
sponsoring you,
Yeah,
too.
I mean seriously, because I'm sure their contract with these different companies have to imply like, hey, you're going to compete, right?
Right.
Like because that's how we sell product. Is because you're wearing our product in front of a bunch of people.
Yes.
But
and genuinely though, like if all these kids are like mentally ill and suicidal or whatever, like I mean that's
saying
a
that.
problem. Like holy crap! But I'm not convinced that's really
so
what it is.
they're not a sponsor of ours, but I mean, just BetterHelp. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
just
get after
I
it.
mean, still
Well-
compete, but
well, to be
get
honest,
yourself a
though,
therapist.
like I don't know about therapy for a 14-year-old seems stupid to me because like you're just
She's not
telling.
Well, it's also-
well, but
it-
like
It's the stuff around it too, though. Like she's doing this, and then she's getting the validation for doing it.
Yeah, that's the problem.
What society should be doing is being
Yeah.
like, "Boo,
Yeah.
you're a weenie, compete."
Yeah. Could
If
you
she
imagine-
Doesn't, she'd be like, "Forget y'all. I'm taking a year off for my mental health." Like, cool, go do you.
I'm sure there's
Like,
gonna be a lot
we
of
don't want to
people-
hear from you for a year.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's
like,
going to be a lot of
yeah.
people that disagree with us on this, but I mean,
100%.
Let me ask. Wait, let me ask you this question.
I'll say this: if I don't work, my family doesn't
That's
get
right.
fed.
Yeah. That's exactly
so
right.
you want to talk about stress and pressure?
Let's not even.
I don't get that.
Let's not
option.
even talk about us, Caleb. What would you? How would you react if Tua came out and was like, "Hey guys, it's really hard not winning the Super Bowl, but it's been like really hard on my mental health. I'm gonna take a year off. Everybody cool with that?"
Bro.
First off, Caleb.
I would be happy.
Caleb would be.
Caleb be like, yes.
but,
I was like, good job, man. Hey.
I support mental
but like,
All right, go ahead, draft that quarterback now.
could you imagine the Dolphins being like, "Oh yeah, of course,
Yeah.
of course."
Yeah,
NFL
seriously.
world would rip him
Dude,
apart.
they would.
Well,
there's no other sport that you can be like, it's pretty tough out there, guys.
That's a great point because CrossFit, the CrossFit Games, those athletes, all they keep talking about is like, oh, we want to be on the same status of these all higher level sports.
But they're not taking it
You don't
serious.
see even in individual sports. If someone like you use Conor McGregor as an example, like he took time off for injuries, yes, but also, I mean, mentally to get over that type of a fracture, he probably needed some time mentally to get back on his feet. And
But
get
we
to,
didn't hear about.
But
it.
you
He
don't
was-
hear
he
anything
didn't
about
hear
him.
anything about
He's
it.
not out here like it's mentally really grinding
Yeah.
for me to get back. It's like,
Well,
shut
but also just like
up.
how the narrative has changed about this incident. Like like, yeah, it is absolutely mentally tough to be the best in the world or strive to be. Like, that's hard. Like,
that's why so few people are the best in the world.
That's right.
But what I'm saying is, like,
2 every year.
40 years ago, if you had a guy like, say, best quarterback in the world, he went to the Super Bowl and choked, like, that would be like a legendary, like, oh, he choked, he's done, like, wash up. But like, that's not how we're
Dude, think about
this
Tony
for some
Romo. He
reason.
stays in the NFL spotlight, and people are like, he may be the worst playoff quarterback of all time. And he's like, all right, guys, here, Tony Romo. What'd you call me? They're like, Bobble Boy. He's like, cool.
I mean, like, dude,
He just stays in the pocket. He just stays in the pocket.
CrossFit, in a way, I think it's because it's an individual sport. They like care a little bit too much about the personalities of the athletes. Like,
Well, because it's boring inherently as a professional sport.
Yeah.
So
It's
you have
not
to
fun
keep
to
it
watch. You
interesting.
you have to strive on.
But
the
like people,
personalities.
like it's like, hey, can you tell us why your job is so hard? It's like, well, I have to wake up around 9 a.m.
I mean, yeah.
and then I have to go. I have to go to the gym, right?
Yeah, what are
to
we
get
talking
coached by
about?
the best in the world.
Yep. And then
Take all the time I want to warm up, go through my workout,
Eat
cool
properly.
down.
I've got
These
nutrition.
workouts are really tough, guys.
I breathe
Most
heavy.
of Sammy makes all my food.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough out there for a gangster. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now,
It's-
I will say, I'm sure some of these CrossFit athletes, I'm not talking about those, but they probably do have like a side business where they're running like a nutrition or a programming company and stuff like that for other people. And that might be, I don't know, 10 hours a week that you have to put into that.
I'd like to.
I think that I want to get something like clear that just so everyone understands what we're saying here. We're
These
not
people
saying
should
we're not
Oh,
saying
boy.
we're not saying that this what they're doing is there's no work involved. All we're saying is from the moment my feet hit the ground until they get off the ground at the end of the day, I am working my butt off, whether it's at work or with my family. It's nonstop. All they're doing is it's way less than that.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to hear crap. Like that's what we're saying is like everyone has a hard day. Like and just go do your job.
Yeah.
Like
And
if
we're
that's
also-
what you did, then
We're also not saying like you have to compete. Like if you don't want to compete, cool. Just don't post about it and don't cry to us about it.
Yeah,
We
just
don't
don't
want to
say it.
hear it.
Yeah, we don't
I,
care.
I don't. That's part of it. Is like if Mallory O'Brien just ghosted everybody.
Yeah.
And was like, and people were like, "Why'd you stop?"
Well-
She's like, "I just didn't feel like doing it."
Well, to be fair, she kind of did do that at first. Like 2 years ago, she did kind of just ghost. But then everybody was like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, well, that's part of being
why?
tough. Like that's part of the
Yeah,
thing
well,
is
don't
being
get
like
it.
that's
Don't give
that's
in.
exactly what we're talking about. Is external forces making you be like you just say, "I don't want to talk about it."
Yeah.
Boom. Could you? I want to know what Michael Jordan thinks about this. He'd be like,
He wouldn't care.
What do you guys? What do you guys?
no, like just about being a winner. Like he's like,
Oh, yeah.
it's like it's hard to be a winner.
Do you guys think that, I don't know, like all sports aren't like this, but obviously like college or football, you have to go through college usually, and then you go to the NFL after. Like, do you think pushing these 18-year-old kids right into an elite division is like a good idea, or should you force
Kids
some
did
sort
it
of-
with the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just wondering, like, should there be some sort of collegiate program?
Are you worried?
working
Are you worried
out?
about the burnout? Is that what you're saying? Like
Well,
the
it's just,
burnout?
I mean, that is a lot of
They do
pressure
have-
for an
they do
18-year-old
now,
to just
they've
get
set
thrown
up a-
into.
I'll
They've
say,
set-
But-
I'll say this: kids play football when they're, which I don't agree with. I think you shouldn't play football until you're like in 7th grade when your growth plates are done.
Growthing.
Yeah. But I mean, they play like, and it happens all the freaking time that little kids play mini mites or whatever they call it. And then in high school, they get burned out, and it happens. Play baseball, same thing happens. Kids get burned out. Guess what?
It happens in a lot of stuff.
Guess what? They go on to be nobody in that sport.
Yeah.
Tough stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you can either deal with it or you can't. That's,
Well,
I
to
think
be
what
honest, if you
what
get burned out,
society
you
needs
probably
to
just
get
don't
away
wanna do it.
from is there is no, like, I hear where you're coming from,
Yeah.
but I want to get in the opposite direction of no, you either come up through the grind, deal with the pressure and succeed, or you don't. And you go get a job and you go do whatever else you want to do.
I
It's
mean, you
like,
expect the best in the
We're
world
not
to be
going to
able
sit
to
there
do it.
and oh, it's tough for you mentally. Let's see if we can cultivate a thing for you to like get through it better. No, like
Yeah.
you either do it or you don't.
It's hard to be.
There's also
What were
like
you saying, Caleb?
I don't even remember.
No, okay.
Do you think it's like even if you added a collegiate league, it doesn't? It's the same
No, I would
garbage.
like leagues,
but it's the
though.
same thing. Like the competition level is going to be exactly the same. It's still like the stress of winning. Like you have to win in that to go
Right,
into whatever.
yeah.
It doesn't matter.
You know,
Yeah.
So I know we all might have different opinions on this guy and stuff like that, but like there's an interview of Rich Froning, arguably the greatest CrossFit athlete in the history as far as team and individual.
Right.
But they were asking, it's like, oh, why aren't you going to compete as in the your age group division anymore? He's like, I just don't want to go through the mental grind of competing as an individual. And that's all it was said. He's like, I don't want to do it. And then he left it. And then he does his own thing and he can do whatever he wants from there. It's like now he's very successful through the sport of CrossFit.
Right.
But like that's all these people have to say.
That's
like
right.
they're not calling him on to these podcasts and being like, oh, what's mentally, are you okay? And stuff like that. He's like, no, I'm working out. I'm taking care of my family and I'm doing all these other like hunting and fishing and all these other things that I enjoy. And I don't care at all about whatever's going on in the sport. Like
That's right. He's life got hard, and so I'm gonna like knock it down a peg in my competition.
Exactly.
Like,
Well, I totally agree with you. But like, I guess what I think is, that kind of is what Mal did at first. She just kind of just like left it and was like, I'm not competing.
Yeah.
And then that's all she really needed to do. But then
Right.
for some reason, people aren't asking
Yeah.
Rich further, why.
Well,
But
my
like,
thing
'cause
is,
Rich
they
is-
probably did ask Rich, and Rich is like, I'm not sitting in front of a camera with y'all doing that opaque look.
well, he's also like 35. Yeah, he's an adult. Like these are 18-year-olds.
Right.
Well, she's an adult. She's out of high school.
Yeah,
she's
but
an adult now.
She's 18 years old, and you have these big, large companies and media groups and people that matter asking.
Are you
Listen,
saying
why is
are you
that
saying
our
Morning
fault?
Chalk Up is a large company and organization?
But I'm also saying
it's
like,
a big space
Dude,
in the
well, if
CrossFit.
she-
Yeah,
but
you're
why
right,
is
you're
that
right.
why is that our fault that she's an immature child? Like I don't care. Like that's
Well,
her.
I think
it's
if
her
we're gonna
job to be
play-
prepared for
she should-
life. It's,
I
I'm
guess,
not-
but
yeah.
I mean, I mean that's
Hey,
fair.
dude,
You know
listen.
what I'm saying?
I don't-
Like,
She chose to go that route.
yeah,
not
like
me.
I said before, I don't criticize her as much as I criticize the organizations that are seeking her out
that
for
are-
content.
Right.
Like stop seeking her out for content.
Yeah.
Leave her alone.
'Cause we
Let
don't-
her do her thing. She's already said that she wants to do her thing. Leave her alone.
she's not competing. We don't
Morning
care about
Chalk
her
Up, you
anymore.
bunch of weenies.
Weenies.
Like, leave,
Now,
Morning-
to Mabry's point a little bit, like companies are going to do that, and they're always going to do that because they're
right.
trying to find a way to make money. So it's
Yeah.
like she needs to also figure out how
They
to
just-
deal with that.
That's right.
It's just the sport of CrossFit is boring, so they
Yeah.
they have to
looking
find
for a
something to
story.
talk about.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, if we're
They-
sitting here listening to Mal O'Brien talking about how she's not competing,
what
that's
we're
like the
talking about
worst
right now.
story ever. Like, she's
doing
not
it.
competing. We don't care anymore. Like, go talk to someone who is competing.
I mean, we're doing it right now.
Now, speaking of someone who is competing, that's just doing it for the attention.
Dusty.
Go to the Instagram. I can't.
I just want to talk about my injury. I'm taking a year off for mental health.
This I don't know why. I don't know why this annoys me, but
Dude, when you sent it to me or us, I looked at it and I was like, I hate this. Couldn't hate it more.
I mean,
Like,
we're definitely going to get some negative feedback from
yeah,
this
for
comment.
sure. But I mean, come on, Annie. Like
Dude, I
Annie's
mean-
post about her doing
I
24.1.
can't tell if it's a joke.
Is
Like,
this also? Is she
it's not
counting
a
this as
joke.
RX?
I don't know.
No, there's no way.
Then if you're not counting it as RX, then why do this?
Here's my argument in this.
So
is
for our
she's-
listeners, she's doing burpees, but she's pregnant again. So she has these.
She's very
mats.
pregnant.
She has $5,000 worth of mats left.
That's what I was gonna say. Is like people are gonna be like, well, she was doing that to inspire people that are pregnant to still do it. Like, no one can do this setup. You have to have $10,000 worth of equipment.
And look, they're using
basically-
centimeters.
She
Yeah.
basically has manufactured these pads in a way that it's like a second floor, and there's a hole. So when she does burpees, she can fit her belly in the hole.
No, it's cool and it's fun, and
it's
I understand
fine,
it's
yeah.
content, so she's getting more viewers
That's
and
right,
stuff.
that's
It just annoys me. It's a pet peeve. It's
same.
like,
My thing is like stop, because like
and
she
she's
came back.
Beyonce as her like.
Going down, down, down.
I can't, I'm with you. I can't.
like
It's too much for
It's
me.
a little funny, but yeah, I mean, this isn't the worst.
I
but-
put like it like I'm gonna call him out, but it's like Noah Olsen, man. All his stuff is just ridiculous. I hate when he does a post. It's
Really?
it's just attention seeking.
I don't mind.
I don't
that
like
also,
attention seek. It's just, I mean, I know that's what they're trying to do, but it's just, it's like
How about this one?
they're
Like
all
whenever-
they're all trying to be influencers, right? So they're trying to get. Like, I understand what they're doing, but like Annie and Noah Olsen seem super like.
Wait, why does she care? Why does she care about her belly in that hole? And then she's like, but I'm also going to flip upside down and walk on my hands.
That's like
This is her doing.
I'm pretty sure it's
handstand
one of the
walks
worst things you
pregnant.
can do when you're pregnant
I
is be
mean,
upside down
Or fall downstairs.
because of the pressure.
Yeah, that'll be bad.
Yeah, that's
Probably
good.
the worst
That's
thing.
If I saw my mom, if I saw a video of my mom doing this while she was pregnant with me, I'd be like, "Mom, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Please stop."
Well,
Was it worth it?
She's like, no wonder I have to take a year off CrossFit.
yeah, that kid's not gonna be able to walk when you get.
Yeah.
You mentioned Noah Olsen. I'm trying to.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just
I get it. Like,
I would
they're-
much
they're-
rather post stuff about like doing it adaptive as far as doing like an up down instead of
Right.
like all those weird burpees and saying
do something that everyone else can do.
Well,
not a situation that's going to require half the gym to set it up.
Do you have $5,000 worth of pads? You can do this too.
So
you have-
here's this is a Oh my god,
That's a book.
So yeah,
It's
this
too
is
much.
He wrote a
man.
novel
It's too
for it.
much,
This
man.
is 5 paragraphs from Noah Olson on how to strategize for this.
He's like, just go.
Like, what you're gonna want to do is go really, really fast and never
And
stop.
it's probably only really applicable to like elite athletes.
Yeah,
He's like, you're gonna want to sprint.
He's like,
from
for the
from
200
go.
people this applies to in the world.
This is for you guys.
Yeah,
And there's
I mean-
there's some dude like, I'm gonna do it like him. Just like this
Some
fat guy.
Some guy like my skill
Yeah.
level,
Yeah.
like perfect strategy.
Yeah.
Well, the one thing I heard before I did it from him was like, as soon as you finish the burpee, just step your foot out and start the dumbbell immediately.
Yeah, but
I got to the first time I did that, and I was like, no, you're wrong.
So,
Yeah, you're wrong, Noel.
so if you don't follow CrossFit, the open workout was burpees and dumbbell snatches. And all of these people, games, different companies came out with all these strategies to like, oh, this is how you do it a little bit faster. And the funny thing is, it's like, it's burpees and dumbbell snatches.
Yeah.
Like there's not, I'm gonna step up with my outside foot each time, so it's gonna make me go a little bit faster. It's like, that's not. I'm gonna be honest. If you're not gonna finish the workout, that's not gonna help you. Like,
it's tough because like everybody expects these athletes to say something. They're
Yeah.
kind of like,
Yeah, that's right.
what do I do? But
Well, good. Well,
it's
every
like, why
workout
don't you
ever
listen
is the
to your
same.
coach at the gym. Why don't you do that?
Well, every athlete that makes a post like this about every workout, it's the same thing. It's like, you're gonna want to take no breaks.
Yeah.
Because if you just go and don't stop, you win.
In my experience, unbroken.
if you go really, really fast
Yeah.
and don't stop,
Like if the best score is 6 and you get 550, that's faster.
yeah.
So I'd shoot to go faster than the fastest guy, then you win.
Get you a judge that you know is not going to no rep you.
Yeah, and then just
That's
do
right.
whatever you want.
Slide him a cool hundo. For the open?
This is brought to you by my sponsor, and I'm also gonna take a year off because of mental health. And
No,
But,
I
yeah,
can't
that's
take it. But it's also like I know they're trying to come up with content and I'll do all that stuff. But like, hey, it's your job. You chose this. No one's. It's the same thing when I hear about football players complain about brain injury. Hey man,
you signed up for it.
don't play football. It's not. I mean, there's a lot of other sports, a lot of things you can do if you don't want to get hit in the head.
No one's forcing you to make millions of dollars playing a sport you love.
I mean, they're like,
you
I
can
don't like
retire
how much
at
I'm getting hit in the
38.
head.
Yeah.
Hey man, don't play football.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what they do. That's the
never
thing. We
cared.
wear
'Cause
the
I'm like,
helmets for a reason.
I don't like work until I'm 65. You get to retire when you're 38.
Yeah.
I'll take a little brain damage.
So I mean,
Yeah, that's right.
It goes to so many sports. CrossFit is closer to us right now, and they're doing a terrible job with like
Just
it's the media behind it, which the media stinks at everything. They do it. You can't even watch the news anymore because all they do is like tell you about the world's burning, and so now it's like same stuff. Like
So you know what list CrossFit isn't on?
what?
Good segue. Dude.
One of the hardest sports to play.
No doubt.
Yeah, it's definitely not on that list.
It's definitely not on that list.
All right, so this is ESPN's list
of
of hardest sports by degree of difficulty.
Oh, I was gonna say we're gonna have to zoom into that.
Okay,
I think this is
rowing
the-
made the list.
Well, it's close to the bottom, I think.
Oh,
Fishing's
fishing's the least
Fishing is the
hardest.
least
So there's like
hardest.
60 sports all rated.
Let's go, man. Fishing.
60. Are we gonna list all through them?
We can just look through them and see what we want to talk about. I mean, off the bat,
is
I'm
this
going to
the
go
ranking?
ahead and say it. Fishing has got to be harder than billiards. I mean,
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
Billiards requires a lot of skill.
Billiards does require
fishing
But I mean,
requires a lot of
fishing
skill,
is
and
like,
it
you
takes-
gotta-
like get in it.
I'm sorry.
Also, I'm not doing whatever because it might have looked bad.
What did you just do? What were you talking about?
Like reeling in. I mean, if you're doing like a big tuna,
Well, I was gonna say
You're not using your hand like that.
I'm
on the big
thinking
tuna.
like a bass.
Well, also, well, either
bass.
way, fishing you have to do a lot of like investigation work. You
That's
got to
right.
know where the fish are, what the weather.
Lot
I
of
mean, there's a
strategy.
lot of
That's-
strategy with
You're in the
fishing.
elements.
Yeah.
Billiards is like
That's fair.
Billiards has got to be easier than fishing.
I don't
right?
think so because
What?
the
Come
skill
on,
level is the skill level like a
You're
billiard.
crazy.
Dude, shoot pool again. I could throw a line in the water and catch a fish. There's a 0% chance
you can't.
You're not.
I've done it. I've caught
You're
a
not gonna
fish.
catch every time.
yeah.
These guys have to catch fish to win tournaments.
The same. So is a pool, but there's
And
a 0%
starting-
chance I'm gonna beat somebody as a professional pool player at pool.
They have to
You're
catch
not gonna be
fish in a
a
stocked
fisherman.
pond.
I'll give you five like lines. I bet you
And
won't catch a single one.
In a stocked pond, they have to catch fish. It's really difficult for them.
Yeah. Dude, their boats have sonar on them now.
Nice.
Yeah,
I
there's
mean,
like
get
no
outta here,
strategy.
dude.
They're like, where's the fish?
Bro,
Like, just-
I agree.
billiards,
Fishes
you
should-
can play billiards in a bar drunk. like,
Okay,
What I don't agree
fishing. You can't go fishing drunk. What a terrible.
What I don't agree with is curling
gonna
this
get-
low on the list. Curling should be way higher. Am I
curling
right?
is definitely harder than both of them.
Curling is easier than billiards.
What? What? You're crazy.
No, I don't agree with that.
You're throwing a thing.
How are you playing pool? How are you playing pool? Pool is not that hard.
Yeah, what kind of pool are you playing?
People that are really good at pool can make every shot.
Yeah, but
you know what people do? You know how wrong you are? You know what people do when they are playing billiards? They're smoking cigars and drinking.
You just said fishing. They do literally the same thing with fishing.
Not
Don't.
these
Not the guy professionals.
Yeah.
Are you trying to say
Are the
that
professional billiards?
neither are the professional pool players?
Yeah,
What are
I
you
don't
talking about?
Have you ever watched the professional billiards?
I mean, they're drinking something.
Yes, yes,
Dude.
they're a little heavy, but
I could go out right now head to head against a professional curler. I'd stand my own.
you can't.
You don't even know how to do it.
I've
I've
walk
watched
on
it.
the ice, let alone
It's big
Dude, I like my chances better on a billiard table than I do curling.
No,
100%.
You're gonna lose either way, but
100%. I can
guys-
make pool shots. I don't even know what I'm doing.
I agree.
Who's my teammate on curling, y'all? I mean, like, if I slide it down there and y'all are slipping over each other, it's like,
You know who's really good at curling? Women.
um,
Because of,
The hair.
because of the brooming.
God, I was like, where are you going with
I
this?
know where it was going. So the one thing I was
We've made
cheer,
it two sports.
cheerleading. I don't know if they're referring to like the gymnastics routine.
I think that must be
cheerleading,
it. Yeah.
Or cheer.
I mean, is this the ranking?
Because
Is
if
this
that's
like-
it, cheerleading should be way higher. I'm going to
Is
be
this the
honest with
ranking?
you.
Are we at the
Yeah,
bottom?
yes.
Or is this? Are they?
We're at the
broken
bottom.
in
This is the
categories?
bottom.
We're at the
Dude,
bottom.
how could
Dude,
golf be?
cannot be this low. Golf is so hard. Golf has to be like
Water ski?
How
Is
could
this a-
Kaya? How could
No way.
Dude, shut up.
No.
Canoeing is not harder than golf.
I mean,
That's right, yeah.
Table tennis.
No, it definitely is.
Table tennis is not harder than golf. Are you crazy?
Well, so they're basing it off a lot of factors. I'm assuming one of them is like how
Hold on,
high
go-
is your heart rate getting?
Go
you know?
down to the key.
No,
So
I don't
look,
care. Golf is super hard.
look. They have all these abbreviations. Go down to the key and see what the abbreviations mean.
So there's endurance, strength, power, speed, agility,
well,
flexibility,
Nerve.
durability, hand-eye coordination,
Oh, the ability to overcome fear.
and analytic aptitude.
Okay, so here's what I'm
not too
saying.
good in that
Scroll all the way to the
category.
top. Are they separated somehow?
It's just not really.
Yeah, it says sport. It must
They're
be
not.
separated somehow.
No,
I
it's
don't,
not. It's
I don't
just-
think it is.
Then why does it keep saying sport?
I think it's just like that. Maybe it's,
I think
it's
they're-
the way they did the report.
Okay, well, I'm telling you right now.
dude, no way.
First off, there's no chance in
Kayak, dude, really like hard kayaking is very difficult.
hard?
Dude,
Like white water?
I mean,
Is that
you
like
play
water?
golf.
But the water is doing it. Like you're going there no matter
Yeah, but
what.
if you don't
we're
wanna
we're all
die-
getting there. We're all getting there.
No, you'll die.
I don't know if that's true.
Well, I'm sure the nerve on kayaking is pretty high.
Here's my thing is.
yeah.
Here's my thing is. Give me a year of.
It's only a
of-
3.
Give me a year. Here's what I'm
that's
saying.
higher than
You get
horse
a,
racing.
you
is
get a
8.
year just dedicated to training. I'm coming out way higher at kayaking than I am a year of golf.
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
Not gonna
Yeah.
do, I'm not gonna do
Yeah.
well. Like
No,
when I
I
show
agree.
up for that first day of golf, we're gonna get slammed. Kayaking, they're like, "Hey man, you held your own out there a year
That's
of training."
fair. That's fair.
You see, like, dude,
Dude,
but-
if we all got in a kayak and
Even
the
if,
goal was
like-
to get to a finish line, we're all making it there. One way, dead or alive, we're all getting to the end.
You're not
There's
wrong.
a chance you never put your ball that you start with
Even on the
in
green.
the hole.
Even on the green.
Like, even get
you're gonna
close.
lose. I would almost say, guarantee we all four go out and play golf. No, we have to keep the same ball.
Never would happen.
Never would happen.
We'd have to we'd have to hit only in
We can play together.
30-foot increments so we didn't lose the
yeah,
ball.
we can play together.
So the reason horse racing is so high is because of this. It's
we
got
play
an
together.
8.
Andrew goes up. He's like, "I got this, guys. It's done."
You're too close to the water.
Horse racing has
I want to go play
An
golf.
8 in nerve.
Dang.
Yeah, if you fall off your horse and get trampled, you're
Yeah,
done.
it's actually really dangerous.
Yeah. But once again, though, I equate it back to you give me a year to train a sport. Like, I'm going to go out there and race that horse. I might not win, but I'm going to be in the heat.
you're too. They'll never let you be on the horse. You got to be small.
I'm just saying, like, if
Track
they get,
and field
obviously,
weights.
they put the horse on me.
So we're arguing about like the ones that don't
The
even
most
matter.
basic, yeah.
Yeah, let's
Go
go
up.
up. Yeah,
let's
let's
go
get
up
up.
one.
How could skateboarding be higher than golf?
I mean, that's ridiculous.
No, that is for sure true.
No, dude, golf is, appreciate how hard golf is.
Auto
You don't
racing.
appreciate how hard skateboarding is.
I don't appreciate how hard it is. You're right.
Dude, if you brought a
I don't.
skateboard in here, I almost guarantee
Oh,
it.
here we go.
Maybe we'll figure this out.
You don't want it. We already tried that.
I almost got it.
You did almost.
I almost got it. I mean,
Oh, rodeo.
And weightlifting is way
dude,
far down too.
rodeos just seems fun.
I mean,
Track and
weightlifting
field.
is-
I mean, my thing with track and field is, dude, you either got it or, you're either. You can get a little faster and stuff like that, but
So swimming distance is low, in my opinion. That feels
to me.
hard.
It kind of goes back to like that. Just requires training. I mean, swimming.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
Yeah.
like
I got-
you're
yeah,
either you
yeah.
know. I mean,
You're either fit or not. Like
the
it's-
skill
yeah.
involved with swimming is
Ooh, auto racing.
same thing with track. I mean, you're either fast.
Now, see,
or
I got
not.
an argument with auto racing.
Depends what.
Have you seen that new movie?
Cars.
No,
Cars.
Nice.
So good.
It's like
Tighten in the
something.
Mabry's like, ka-chow.
It's something like Grand.
Torino.
No.
Oh, the Gran Turismo movie.
Yeah, Gran Turismo. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen.
Oh,
it,
Need
but-
for Speed.
No.
Freaking amazing. You
Grand
need to
Theft
go.
Auto?
Y'all need to watch that tonight. Gran Turismo. What is it?
It's about the game Gran Turismo.
Dude, freaking amazing movie.
They like
amazing.
They like picked up this kid. They did like a competition
ruin it.
for gamer. It's not this.
I feel like you're ruining
They
it.
did a competition for. It's a true story.
And
They
he
did a
wins the
competition for gamers like who played Gran Turismo to go be a real racer.
Gran
And, like,
Turismo is a video.
Yeah, I
game.
gotcha.
He became like a real racer.
It happened in real life. So.
But everybody drives a car.
No, I hear you.
Dude, you're so.
But I like
Dude,
watch this
F1
movie.
Are you saying no?
Watch this
F1
movie and you'll be a little bit more
F1
like,
drivers are insane.
Yeah, they
I
are.
bet you I could jump in an F1 car right now.
Their reaction.
I'll say this though. I go back to my thing. A year of working on it. I'm still coming back. I'm still racing that F1 car more competitively than I am swinging that golf.
Also,
I mean,
I'm still coming in last place, but it's gonna be closer.
let me say, here's the thing. All these sports that we're talking about, they require a fear level, which you have none. So it's in your favor that you could, because
Let's
most
ride
people,
the lightning.
yeah, most people are going to be like,
9.8 on.
Yeah, I get that. You watch that movie? Have you? haven't-
dude, how could rowing possibly be this high on the list?
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Where is it
It's
at?
hard. I mean,
It's
let's see.
tough, but
Because
it's
I think
like,
because the
no.
endurance is so high. So it's
Endurance.
going to up a little
I've
bit.
seen some people
Power.
with pretty terrible endurance.
But I'm guessing these higher ones are all going to be
Let's
pretty
keep going.
high.
Badminton, dude. Look how high badminton is.
That's insane.
Badminton
No.
is too high.
Dude, I'm going to
It's
tell you
too
right
high.
now, I could jump on the professional badminton circuit and be in the game.
I think with this, they went physical. They went really physical demands on it. Is how
It's got a
they're thinking, right?
1.25 nerve. What's the point of playing
I
a
mean-
sport that has that low?
They're literally, they have no nerve. It's going so slow. They're like, it's fine. I've got plenty of time.
There's no possible way to get injured.
I mean, you're telling me that like.
Now, racquetball is a pretty tough sport. I'll tell you that right now. It's
I mean, I'll
Ski
give it
jumping,
above. Yeah, for
ski
sure.
jumping.
see, that's another one where,
I mean,
like,
I
dude, if
could
I
do
get on a
that.
pair of
Do you have to
skis,
land?
if I get on a pair of skis and
have
you
to
push
land
me down a mountain, I'm making that jump. I may not land it.
I was gonna say, do you have to land correctly? I guess that's part of it. Huh?
You might not be able to
Cycling.
walk afterwards.
Field hockey, it's just got a lot of rules.
Yeah, field hockey is 17.
I mean, racquetball, volleyball, dude. Like, don't get me wrong, volleyball, but I mean,
Pole vault. Pole vault's
Pole vault's hard, dude.
Yeah.
You could not train
Pole
for a
vault's
year and
up
do a
there.
good pole vault.
pole vault's up there.
I disagree.
So I don't know. These.
I mean, it's not a big guy thing.
It's
I'll be
not
honest
a
with
big
you.
guy. But hey, man,
I don't have as much issue with this.
I
Go up
wanted,
to the
I
next-
wanted to train as
So
like a
this-
decathlete. I could have done pole vault.
Rodeo steer wrestling.
So this is the
That
top.
sounds
this,
awesome.
This is the top 15. This is maybe what.
Boxing is the hardest sport.
So yeah, well, I'll just list the top 15. We got boxing,
Number
ice,
one.
one, ice
One.
hockey 2,
Don't say the number now.
football 3, basketball, wrestling, martial arts, tennis, gymnastics, baseball, softball, soccer, skiing, alpine skiing, water polo, rugby, lacrosse, and steer
I
wrestling.
feel like water
I have a
polo's-
problem.
I feel like water.
Oh, Caleb has a problem. I want
I
to
feel
hear
like
it.
water polo is pretty tough.
Wait, I want to hear what the problem is.
I think you guys already know what I'm going to say. Baseball and softball should not be in the same spot. Like
Yeah,
they
that-
should
Oh,
not.
they
be
hashed it.
They
Yeah.
hash
Ooh,
it.
that's tough.
That's
not
not
the same. It's
not
not
the
the
same.
same.
No offense. I'm not trying to be, but it's not the same.
Softball
Yeah.
can't go 90 miles an hour. Or
Well, softball, the ball's bigger. I mean,
Bases are
you're pitching
shorter.
underhand. You're not going 90
ESPN
miles.
was like, here's a bone, ladies.
yeah. I mean, come on.
Also, to kind of go, I think the only reason they're so high is because there's a specific set of skill sets that you need to be successful in baseball and softball.
Baseball may be the
But other,
hardest
but,
sport.
but other than that, pretty easy sport.
Yeah.
Like if you can either hit a fastball or you can either hit a 90-mile-an-hour ball or throw one
Accurately.
or you really can't.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
and then
other
you're
parts to it. Like you have to be pretty fast.
no.
Yes,
I mean,
you do.
dude, have you seen some of the professional baseball players right now? They look
Those
like
are all
they look
American
like
League
they
pitch
look-
hitters.
No, there's people standing out in the field that look like they just walked out of their garage, smoked a 6-pack of beer.
They smoked a 6-pack of beer?
just hammered it down. And then they walk out there and they grab a glove and they're like, Daddy's come to play.
I think the hand-eye coordination of the batting side of it is probably the hardest thing.
That's right.
Because if you don't have the appreciation of how hard it is to hit a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, I mean, you can't. If you're listening right now, you can't do it. I don't care who you are. You cannot do it.
That's what I'm saying. There's a skill set that you have to possess to be successful. But other than that, the physical demands of baseball, it's an easy
I agree with that. And also, if you're playing infield, maybe not as much first base, but like shortstop, second, third, like those guys are very good athletes. Very good athletes.
I mean, dude, they're pretty they're crazy running.
Their reaction time
and
is
not even looking at the plate, like off 1 foot, turning around and
what is your argument?
I'm saying they're you have to be a pretty good athlete to be a baseball player.
But what about?
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not disagreeing.
In their game. I am.
John Kruk was a fatty.
I'm disagreeing. I would think that you don't have to be. There are a ton of baseball players that are not great athletes.
Well, I think it's ranked. There are a ton of baseball players that are.
You're not stepping on in a boxing ring, a hockey. What do they call
Rink?
Rink. Yeah, there you go. A football field, a basketball court, not being a good athlete. And you can step on a baseball field and not being a good athlete.
Not now. I don't think you can now.
If you have good hand-eye coordination.
100%. I mean, Miguel Cabrera was just playing, and he was like 300 pounds. I think you need to. He's out there. Woo!
Anymore.
Getting to first base was tough.
If you can throw accurately, like throw very hard accurately, then you can be a you don't have to be that great of an athlete, but if you can do that accurately, you can be a pitcher.
Baseball and golf.
I'm just being honest.
Baseball and golf are like the same kind of thing. You got to have the skill set, and outside of that, you don't really have to be that good.
Martial arts, I'm assuming they mean like mixed martial arts, and I would suggest that that's harder than boxing.
I would say yes. Yeah. I'm surprised they don't have like UFC.
I think it's MMA. I think martial arts is what
Is
it's
that what it's supposed to be? Then I would say that's harder than boxing.
Yeah,
for sure.
boxing is like,
wrestling, I would say, is harder than football, in my opinion.
Wrestlers are freaking athletes.
I don't know how they're judging this. I kind of go back to football is. I don't think it's that high.
I think football gets a high because it's so well known.
Football really though, hardest sports to play.
So I have a question. Why is? Because in my opinion, basketball, obviously you have to be super athletic, but basketball should not be above baseball, in my opinion.
Well, those guys are
basketball should be above baseball.
Talking about? Those
for
guys
sure.
are nonstop.
I'm gonna be honest
I think
with
basketball should be above
the
hockey.
endurance. Should
the
be
the most athletic people in the entire world are NBA basketball players.
But you have to also think about it when they're playing.
Not with the net this low.
When they're playing the sport, they are nonstop moving.
Yeah,
it's like you're not sitting there in boxing. It's like.
So let me put it in a kind of a thought that makes sense to you. Okay, so
idiot.
But basketball players, I would be on a basketball one of the shortest players on the court.
Yeah,
right?
They're big.
And imagine yesterday. We did the CrossFit workout. Imagine me going at the speed of Mary Helen or even a top athlete. Imagine me going sub 5 on this workout and how fast I'm moving. That is what the NBA basketball players are.
Dang.
That's how they are that athletic. They're unbelievably athletic.
WNBA too.
They didn't get that one.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, the WNBA players are high-fiving each other, and they're like, "We didn't mean you."
But WNBA those ladies are obviously athletic.
They're athletic, yeah.
But I'm just saying basketball players.
I'm definitely putting basketball over football. They're basically saying in football it kind of goes back to it's similar in baseball where there's different positions. So but I will say this: people are definitely misled with football. They think the most athletic people in the field are the receivers and DBs. It's the left tackles. Those guys are the most athletic people on earth.
Now I would argue, and you guys may disagree with me on this, but I would argue with the way that they're ranking these and the way that they have this set up as far as different categories, I would put ice hockey at number 1.
Ice hockey's really hard, dude.
And you are skating around on ice.
You're skating around on ice.
And you got to like shoot a puck.
It's a very physical game. Like it's as physical as football.
In my mind, I'm
Logistics
thinking
of just getting the puck into the net is so hard. I mean,
I think we can go ahead and agree that we're taking boxing off the top.
Boxing can't be the top.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's hockey or basketball. That was my. I mean, I was going to put basketball.
I would say ice hockey is
I
harder
think
than
I think
basketball.
hockey is the hardest sport.
in my opinion.
Because you're both similar concept. And you're both trying to put something in an area, but now these guys are skating,
and they're trying to hit, and they're trying to hit you.
That's like the key. It's like, all right, now we're skating,
And you're also relying. Like I think there's an element to team sports that is harder than an individual sport.
Yeah, I agree.
That's a good point.
Just because there's a dependability on someone else that you don't know if they're going to be there or not. Obviously,
And when people work really well together and they've trained and they work like in unison, that's wild to watch.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But I think it goes ice hockey. I think for me it's mixed martial arts. That is, you have to know all the skills. Like you have to be athletic.
That is.
You have to know all the skills.
It's like legit boxing, wrestling, and then
Jiu-jitsu or some kind of ground fighting.
Yeah, I don't really
the
understand
stuff
why
you
they
have to
wouldn't
know
be together.
before you step in the ring. That's
Yeah.
kind of what I was saying with fishing. Is there's a lot of stuff you have to pull together before you go out there.
You know what? Fishing deserves top 15.
Let's get fishing back up.
How did you just wrangle fishing and mixed martial arts? He's like, that fish bites you, you bite it back.
So I've always dealt with it.
I mean, fishing,
I'm not saying it belongs up here. I'm just saying
it's definitely the easiest sport.
I'm thinking billiards is gonna
Billiards
be,
is harder, dude. It's a higher skill level. It is.
oh,
It
water
is.
polo's on. The water
Dude,
polo's
hold on now. Listen, I was gonna say
Yes.
I got water polo.
Talk about
needs to bump up some
always
spots.
being.
Yeah,
You're in the
that's
water, man.
You talk about an
Whoa.
endurance sport, and then at times you have to go from endurance to like.
Hey, I think we all agree. Tennis needs to be lower than water polo. I mean, come on.
Tennis?
Hard to say.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
the
Yeah.
pro, like,
Oh, tennis is too high.
Dude, you go out and play right now against a 60-year-old guy with a knee brace, he'll kill us.
No, he will.
I mean, he'll kill us. I mean,
I would say gymnastics should be. I mean, body coordination, body control, that type of stuff.
the amount of
What do you
strength.
think
so-
they mean
so-
by steer wrestling?
No idea.
Like, are they wrestling the actual steer?
yeah.
Well, that should be the hardest sport.
You're wrestling something.
yeah, that should definitely be up there. It should definitely be
Oh,
up
they're
there.
actually, that's the hardest sport.
I mean,
It's the hardest sport. What are you talking about?
they're literally
That's right.
taking the bull by the horn.
Yeah, dude. I mean, no way.
Dude, there's no way that's not the hardest sport. What are you talking about?
I think I've seen. So I think the guy that's doing it rides on the back of a horse, and then they,
then
get
they
up
jump
beside him, they
yeah,
jump
jump
on him
on.
and have to tear.
This is the hardest sport.
I agree. We need to bump this to the top.
Yeah, this needs to go up.
This is crazy.
It's like if it's like if we scroll down 50 spots and we're like, oh, bear wrestling. Look at that.
If you want to argue with us on this, go to your local farm and go face to face with a bull at your local farm. And
Not
see
even
it.
a bull.
wild.
Try to take down a brand new calf. You're not going to do
They
it.
put that below like lacrosse.
It's got less nerve than.
I mean, what are they talking
It's
about?
got less nerve than boxing, and
Wow.
Dude, wrestling.
They're like, what's
bull?
scarier, wrestling a human or a bull?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
bull.
how is wrestling higher than steer wrestling?
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, wrestling's also like equal weight class, all this different stuff.
There's a judge, and if the judge says stop, you both stop. The steer doesn't stop.
You got a rodeo clown, a guy out there like, hey, look at me. Look at me. Everybody's like, no.
Yeah. Dude, how is that? I mean, if
Dude, they're like, all right,
that's right.
Let's just go over a couple of sports: pickleball, steer wrestling. You did not put pickleball.
I'm
over
insulted
steer
that the total score for steer wrestling is 56. And boxing is almost 20 points higher than it.
Not a chance.
I mean,
What are we doing?
Hey, are you stepping in the ring or are you going to wrestle a bull?
I would
mean,
100% step in with any boxer before I would go wrestle a bull.
yeah, for sure.
They're like, here you go, man. I'm like, who's going to stop it if it gets out of hand? They're like, well, you don't know.
Let's hope we don't get to that.
Yeah.
Let's hope.
How many deaths a year are in steer wrestling?
It's
Ooh,
like,
that's a
what's
good
your-
question.
They're like, what's your safe word? They're like,
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Usually the safe word is, oh my God, I'm dying.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that should be at the top. I agree.
Steer suffers broken neck. Who is that guy? That's the toughest guy on earth. That man.
Those people are so hardcore. They report the deaths of the bull, not the guy. It's like, oh my gosh, whoa.
Over 400 steers a year die.
That's crazy.
That is not.
We were talking about humans.
What is the most common injury in steer wrestling? Death.
Head injuries.
Wow.
I wonder why.
Over half the
For the
patients
bulls.
sustained a traumatic brain injury.
Those poor bulls. Like what?
All these bulls have CTE. They're getting brain scans. So what is it?
1 to 2 deaths annually.
I mean,
that's
All right,
pretty low.
Let's start putting our list together.
I mean, how many football players are dying?
but also you have to think about how often is
not
this
a good
happening? How often is a boxing match happening? How often is this a rodeo? You know what I mean? Like steer wrestling.
Rodeos every
and-
weekend at the
well,
carnival.
But no, what I mean is, do they have steer wrestling every week? Like
I don't
during
think
the rodeo?
I think there's
someone's
probably
doing
steer wrestling every weekend, but I don't know if every rodeo has steer wrestling.
You got to get like and they're probably doing it like we could probably go one down here, but are they like sponsored by like PBR? And
How long would you have to train to feel comfortable getting in the ring with a bull?
I'm not.
Dude,
no.
I'd do it right. I would.
You would?
I'm not be successful. Do I have to succeed, or am I just hopping out there?
You're just gonna jump out there with no training?
Dude, bro, let's go. I mean, all you gotta do is just jump and grab it by the horns,
Would
right?
you do? Oh, you're talking about actually wrestling the bull. What about just?
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
You're saying without a doubt you would do the thing where you just like run from it and then jump over the fence.
Oh yeah, for sure. You
No,
talking
no.
about just like a rodeo?
Oh,
clown?
that's normal.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking
did
about
that growing
wrestling.
up.
Yeah, we're talking about I'm hopping on a horse, but a big riding up beside a bull.
So you've never ridden a horse.
Yeah,
You've
I
never
have ridden a horse. First
okay.
of all, and
He was like,
I've never circled up on a bull.
You're not the
before.
one riding the. Well, you're riding the horse, but someone's actually
Do they have someone
driving this horse,
Do
and
they
then
have someone?
you're riding
Okay.
behind him, and you're jumping off.
I just have this picture of Mabry trying to get the horse to go up to the bull. The horse is going backwards. He's like, come on. Come on. And the bull
As soon as I get this horse, we're coming for you, bull.
It just T-bones him on the
Yeah,
horse.
yeah, it's on
Maybe he's
big
like,
one.
well, last time I rode a horse, there was a little lady.
Yeah.
We were going down a trail in North Carolina.
Yeah, these went up and down in a circle. You're familiar?
We're going about a merry-go-round. Oh my god,
He's going to
who let
die.
this guy out here?
Dude, wait a minute.
What experience
We
do
should
you-
do a video of you training and you're on a merry-go-round and we'll put horns on Andrew and you jump off.
Jump off, and people are like, "What? We need
Yeah.
to do it in a public
Yes,
place."
yes, very public.
Oh, there's one at Bridge Street.
Yeah,
We'll do
Oh
it.
my
Yes.
god, you're just like
And I like stand up on it. They're like, "Sir, get down." I'm like, "Hold on."
it just takes Andrew down.
It'd be they used to have a merry-go-round, a small one at Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes.
We'll go to Chuck E. Cheese.
Oh my God.
Everybody's on there with little kids. He's like,
Dude,
I'm like 2 feet on this.
how many deaths are in boxing a year?
I mean, I don't know. Let's find out.
oh man.
So we can all agree
for our tryouts.
we
coming
can
up?
for our tree outs. Yeah, I am.
I see you at the tree outs.
So we can all agree. We don't have to go through the list now, but I mean, steer wrestling is the
Steer
hardest,
wrestling.
right? Yeah.
I'm going.
Yes,
Let's
I would
go.
agree
Let's
with
go.
that.
Steer wrestling,
Dang, this-
hockey, basketball.
This is actually, I mean, I guess it's not surprising, but you don't hear about this.
13 deaths a year for
13
boxing.
deaths a year.
It's a lot.
Wow, that's
That's too many, really.
I mean, that's tough, man.
Are they like
Happening in the ring.
acute deaths like right after the boxing match or during the boxing match, or are they like oh, this guy died several years later, we did an autopsy, he has CTE.
That's a
from
pretty good
boxing.
question.
I'm not going to read the whole article, but it says 13 boxers on average die
In the ring.
In the ring's hard to hear.
That's fair.
That is tough.
In the ring is hard to hear.
That's fair. Okay.
You got to think too.
I mean, this is CNN though. It's fake news.
But this said, but to be fair, this
That's
says
exactly what the liberals want you to think.
American boxer who died 4 days after suffering head injuries. So I think it's probably mostly that.
I'll give you that though. 4 days after. I mean,
It's probably related.
That's pretty. Might be a correlation there.
It's like after
Hey, Lincoln didn't
Yeah.
die immediately.
after a boxing match, this man died from COVID. They're like, you can't use that. No.
Yeah, Fox News is like
they're like he collapsed in the ring from illness of COVID.
Yeah,
they're
they're
like. No, that guy dislocated his brain from his spinal
Dislocated
cord.
his brain.
From his spinal cord.
So I got to be honest, I'm a little upset that climbing isn't in this list.
I didn't even think about you bringing this up, but it's the easiest. It's easier than fishing.
Unbelievable.
It's easier than fishing.
It is so hard.
If something was chasing me, I'm immediately the best climber you've ever seen. Immediately.
Yeah, I mean, did like cross country running didn't make this list, did it? Because I mean, dude, it's
No,
just
it
you're
didn't.
just running.
Well, I mean, track and field distance
Okay.
did, so I don't know if that would count.
That
See,
would-
I
that would
I
be
don't
in
like
that
that because
ballpark.
you're either fast or you're not,
Yeah,
man. I
that's
mean,
right.
I'm not going out there and running a sub 10 100.
See, rodeo, bull, bareback, bronc riding, that should also be up there too. Those guys die as well. Actually, any sport where you're riding or catching a giant animal,
I don't
it's
know.
the top.
I definitely think the riding for 8 seconds is lower than the wrestling one to the ground.
But even
Gets to come out alive.
I mean, you can just like hold on. You're just holding on.
no, Mabry, no, dude.
I'm saying compared to wrestling one to the ground.
You just said you think there's a reason they picked 8 seconds, and they're like, Mabry's like, why only 8 seconds? I'll go for 4 or 5 minutes. What do you want?
Yeah, what's the problem? Just hold on.
Well, I mean, think about those guys that are wrestling them down. I mean, they're like,
I can
hold on for longer than 8
I
seconds.
think you would get your like. You're so stubborn and your grip is so good. I think you lose your arm before your grip. I'll never let go.
Yeah, you would dislocate your
dislocate your shoulder. I have bad shoulders anyway. That's why that thing's coming out. I'm holding on, and I'm like 360 around my shoulder. I was like, oh my god,
dude. Do you think
I told you I could hold on for 8 seconds? You're like, dude,
you didn't really hold on, I guess. Your shoulder didn't hold on for 8 seconds.
This guy.
Oh, there's 2 people.
The Hazer.
So do you win? This adds a whole new element. What's happening? Did they both go after it?
Competing against each other and one like
no, I think someone's.
Oh my god!
Oh, he came off the horse.
Well, hold on.
Dang, he's a man,
dude. These steers are kind of smaller.
Oh my god, Mabry! You know how hard it is to take that? Look at the size of this thing.
But I mean, did you not think they were bigger than this though?
I don't know.
No, I don't want them to be bigger than
Well,
this.
I thought they were bigger. I didn't.
I mean, at some point,
You thought they were wrestling like a full size bull?
I mean,
at some point they have to be able to take it down.
Yeah, that's fair. That one's giving him a little.
That's it. You have to pin him or anything.
Hold on, I'm re.
Oh, hold on a minute. Now this is easier. Wait a minute.
Dude, that's like a baby steer right there.
Okay, I mean, chill out.
He tackled a 3-year-old bull.
I thought he was going to have to rope him and keep him on his back. He just really, he just surprised him.
The bull's running forward and he just jumps off. I'm definitely game to do that.
You think James will let us do it?
Probably not. He probably won't let me. Like maybe he's gonna.
No wonder these things are getting their necks broken.
Yeah, I know. I mean, they're not nearly as big as I thought they were.
That's what she said.
All these guys are from Montana.
Of course they are.
I mean, this is still cool. I don't want to.
Oh man,
I don't want to.
Dude, remember when you almost had that girl if you just bought that cowboy hat?
Oh yeah.
I think about that often, dude.
I do too.
I think about that more than I should. That's a small one, dude. That horse is way bigger.
Yeah, get out of here. No.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you right now. I'm choking that cow out. There's a 0% chance I don't come out on top against that.
Look, it's not even mad.
Dude, look how docile that thing is.
These are castrated.
Okay, relax.
Whoa. Dang. No wonder they get hurt next.
That poor cow. He's like, what the heck, man?
Oh, he's like, oh, man, 4.9 seconds. Casey Jones.
That's a great. This guy's like, I don't even need a horse. Oh, no.
Now, what this guy should do is jump off of his horse and grab the other guy's horse and take that down.
Dude, look at this guy.
That's a tiny one.
He went right for it.
So they go to their back too soon.
I mean, yeah, it does. I'm losing.
That's a name, JD Struckness.
I'm losing. Yeah, this is going back down the list. It was placed properly.
You're using a lot of gravity.
I mean, dude, these things are way smaller than I thought they were gonna be.
And all these cowboys are pretty big dudes.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean that's as big as.
I mean, they're bigger than the.
Now
steer.
I don't want to fight that guy.
This guy's wearing glasses.
Nerd.
Matt Reeves. Here we go. Whoa.
He tried to break that guy's neck.
That was a 3.
Dang, that's wild.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, so that's going back down.
Yeah,
the
list is back down the list.
Yeah.
I think.
Sorry, James.
I think bronc riding must be. All right. Well, this has been a super fun episode of Reaching for the Bars podcast. If you don't like our moving the sports up and down, deal with it. Or we're gonna take a year off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a year off from the podcast.
For mental health. Everybody's like, thank God.
Like, y'all's are ours.
Yeah. All right. Thanks everybody for listening. Until next week, this has been Reaching for the Bars. Bye.
Bye.
Peace.